All right, so let's start off with the pi over 4 terms. So all the pi over 4s break the quadrant in half. And so this is always going to have these values, root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. So this x, so that's talking about the xy point. So the xy point here is going to have a negative root 2 over 2 for the x value and a positive root 2 over 2 for the y value. This xy point here will have a negative x value and a negative y value. This point here will have a positive x value and a negative y value. All right, so let's go to the pi over 6 terms. So in the pi over 6, we're going to have two measurements. So root 3 over 2 and 1/2. I know that this is a larger number. Root 3 over 2 is larger than 1/2. So I'm going to look at the picture to figure out which value to put where. So this is a big x value and a small y value. So root 3 over 2 is the x value, small y value of 1/2. Let's come over to this one. So this is a large negative x value and a small positive y value. This point right here has a large negative x value and a small negative y value. And this point right here has a large x value and a small negative y value. All right, so let's go to the pi over 3 terms. The pi over 3 terms use these same 2 points. So this here is going to have a small x value and a large positive y value. This one right here has a small negative x value and a large positive y value. This one down here has a small negative, right here, small negative x value and a large negative y value. This point right here has a small positive x value and a large negative y value. All right, so these are the ordered pairs of things that you'll need to know. So how this will come up is you'll be asked to find, say, the sine of 2 pi over 3. So I don't want you to use a calculator. I think it's helpful to picture the graph. Sine, here's the 2 pi over 3. Sine is the y. The sine are the y values, cosines are the x values. So this gives me an answer of root 3 over 2. If you were asked to find the cosine of 7 pi over 6. Angle 7 pi over 6 is here. The cosine is the x value, so that's negative root 3 over 2. You were asked to find, say, cosine of pi. It's the x value at the angle pi. That's negative 1. Or sine of 5 pi over 4. So go to the angle of 5 pi over 4 and the y value, negative root 2 over 2. So I don't want calculator answers. I want you to know these angle measurements. And always we're doing radians, not degrees. Calculus has to be done in radians. All right, so let's get a quick sketches of our trig functions here. So you'll need to be able to know basic shapes of graphs. So here's sine of x, crosses here at pi, and it goes up to 1, down to negative 1. So that's sine of x. All right, so let's do cosine of x. Cosine of x looks like this. I'm just drawing one cosine wave, right? So this would be the angle pi over 2, and this would be the angle 3 pi over 2, up to 1 and down to negative 1. All right, let's do a different color here for tangent. Tangent of x, you need to know, looks like this. Asymptotes are a really big deal on a graph. So you should know this is pi over 2 and this is negative pi over 2. Cotangent, the curve goes a different way and the asymptotes are different. So this is pi and 0 and this is pi over 2 where it crosses. This one's at 0. So secant is going to be the graph with the cups. So that's going to be off of cosine. So cosine, you know, looks like this, right? So there's an asymptote for secant here and here and here. So the cups for secant, right? Let me get rid of that. The secant graph will be up here, where this is at 1, and down here, right? And that's at -1. So let me get rid of the dotted lines here. But the cups are off of the secant because secant is 1 over cosine. So you need to know where the asymptotes are. So this asymptote here is at pi over 2. That's where cosine is 0. Negative pi over 2. 3 pi over 2. All right, now let's do cosecant. So cosecant is off of the sine graph. So those cups are going to be here and down here. Again, up here at 1, down here at -1. And this will be where at pi and at 2 pi where the asymptotes are.